everyone. How are you all? This is Bev Mann, Mediumship from the Heart, and welcome to my show, Exploring Your Awareness, the first one for 2021. So, Happy New Year to you all. It's wonderful to be back in my spiritual chair and saying hi to all of you. So, if you are there, please do come and say hello and let me know who's on because I have no way of knowing who's on. And just say hello and tell me where you're from, how you're feeling, because this is a caring and sharing show like all of them at Spiritual Psychics TV. So I want to know how you're doing and sharing my show today with you. We're going to be talking about imagination. Is it me or is it spirit? So, for those of you who are in your mediumship development, whichever stage you are at, you will have something to gain from today's show. And I'm open to all your questions. So please do let me know what you want to ask me, any stumbling blocks that you're finding. And because a lot of us do feel it's our imagination and that we're making it all up. And I'm here to talk to you about that and allay any concerns that you may have in this respect. So let's see, do we have any comments? So let's just see what comments. So, hello, lovely Melissa. How are you? Lovely Melissa is from my circle, so it's great to see you here. Lovely smiley face. Hello, Christine. Good afternoon to you. And everyone on chat. Yes, lovely to see you here. I know you're in sunny Bournemouth. Hello, Guiding Senses. How are you? Oh, that's Wendy. Wendy Hunt. Oh, Wendy. Oh, right. Hi there. How are you? I was going to say that's a lovely unicorn, but who is it? So thank you so much for joining me. And hello, lovely Alison. How are you? Hope you're well. I don't know what that you're holding in your hand there. Pamela. Hi, Pamela. How are you? Great to see you. Loving the hair. You've definitely had a change there. Hi, Terry. Thank you for all your help and all your support that you do. Thank you so much. Terry's been looking after us here at Spiritual Psychics TV. Hi, Cheryl Flint. How are you? Good afternoon to you. Lovely to see you. I know with YouTube, it sometimes just gives us like an initial and not actually a picture. So we don't always get to see the pictures. Hello, lovely Christine Davis. How are you? Lovely picture there. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining me and Richard today. Daniela. Hello, good afternoon. Daniela, I think you're somewhere in America. So, oh, you're in Venice. Oh, well, that's a wonderful place to be. Absolutely. How is it there in Venice? I'd like to go back. Hi, lovely Heidi. Great to see you. Don't often get to make the daytime shows, but wanted you to know we love you, Mrs. D. Mrs. D. Ah, okay. Very much like Mr. Love. Oh, right. Oh, okay. So we're hearing about your dressing up, Richard. Okay. Are we in the right show? Sorry, just my silly sense of humor. Hello, lovely Eileen. How are you? Nice to see you here, Eileen. Hope you're well. So there's some lovely, lovely people on here, as you're all very lovely. And please don't be too shy to say hello and actually even to ask a question. It's always good to ask a question. There's no question that's too silly, because we all learn from each other. Terry's saying, oh, I'm so glad I have to work from home today, gas leak in work, so normally I wouldn't be able to watch. I said yesterday, how do I know it's not my imagination? Brilliant. So it's the right show. Well, I was just cooking in the week. It happens occasionally I do cook, and I heard what shall I? Well, I was thinking, what shall I do in the show on Friday? And I heard that come back at me straight away. So I know I need to do that. Alison saying that's the beer pump in my hand. Oh, great, fantastic. I was wondering if it was a truncheon. Um, Hi, Cheryl. Had to tell someone how they upset me yesterday, but it's left me feeling worse. You know what, Cheryl? There are people that do upset us, and being a sensitive and empath, you're going to feel it even more. You know, on this journey, we do feel things very deeply, not only for ourselves, but for other people. And we will often be told throughout life that we overreact. You're welcome, Terry. That we overreact to situations, things that are said, but that is us by our very nature. We are super sensitive. Um, Hi, Mr. and Mrs. B. How are you? Uh, Hi, Joe. And what we really need to do is just allow it to just wash over us, to just go over our heads. And I know it's really, really hard to do, but know what's your stuff and what's not your stuff, and just hand it back to the universe to deal with, you know, or you know, just try and let it go. And the best thing you can do is to sit in your own power, to sit in the silence and get that love and healing from the spirit world, and for those that truly love you with that lovely unconditional love. So, you know, don't despair. Um, just try not to take it on board, because the more we get into that negative cycle, the more difficult it is to get out of it. So, like attracts like, try and bring back in to the positivity, even as to what you gained from that experience. I mean, I've had a couple of experiences over the last few days that have hurt me emotionally. But what have I gained from it? And then I had that wow moment, that pivotal moment, like, oh my God, you know, ding ding. Um, I learned something really, really valuable. And at the end of the day, one of my things is you can only rely on yourself, because only you can be responsible for you and your feelings. So I hope that helps anyone who's going through it. There's a lot of negativity out there in the atmosphere at the moment, and it's affecting all of us. Hello, Mark. How are you? Hello to you. We are picking up a lot of negative vibes. It's out there. People are shooting camps, lots of different thoughts. You just have to try and stay safe and secure in yours. Um, Matt and Kirsty think it's a baseball bat, and someone else thinks it's a cucumber. I'm not saying anything about the cucumber. It's the wrong color. Anyway, I'm not even gonna go there, because that's going to get me even into more trouble. And this is a spiritual show, so I've got to keep it clean. Hi, Pamela. I don't know what Pamela said. Why is it always on my all these faux pas and all this naughtiness? I don't know why. I mean, I'm the queen of it. Cheryl is saying, I was told that was too sensitive and took it too personal. Well, we do. Welcome to the club, Cheryl. We are all yourself, all right? I started to sit in the power and find it really helps. Absolutely. Recenter yourself. It's a bit like when we look at the navigation and we've scrolled too far past where we are on these maps, like ways. We just have to recenter and get back to you, all right? Other people's thoughts and opinions, it's their business. It's not your business, all right? So stuff them in a nice spiritual way. Okay. Anyway, so do we have any more comments? I never really speak up for myself, but this time I did, so quite proud of myself. Yay! Way to go, way to go. Talk up for yourself, because no one else is going to, all right? But if it's causing you that much angst, sometimes it's better to just walk away. No one is worth your tears or frustration. So today, we're going to be talking about, is it me or is it spirit? Is it me or is it my imagination? So I really would value your questions and your thoughts and your opinions on this, because it's not just mine, this is your show as well. So I do encourage you to share your thoughts. And this question always plagued me very early on in my development. And yes, absolutely, Cheryl, like attracts like. Yes, so basically, this always used to bother me. Is it me or is it my overactive imagination? And is it coming from my own ego mind, what I'm experiencing? And when we're doing our mediumship readings, the only way we're going to find out is having the courage to actually say what you're experiencing and feel it. And that is the only way to experiment with this. Because if you have the guts to say what you're experiencing in a reading, and it will not be your imagination. If you get a no, it could be that you've just misconstrued how you're receiving something. Hello, lovely Lee. Good afternoon to you. You're in Torquay. Nice to see you. Welcome to the show. And anyone watching this, if you would like to share this feed, I don't know if you can share on YouTube or whatever, or you might want to share it out later after the show. I don't know how YouTube works. It will help other people. Just share the link, I think you can, on Facebook. So yes, as Heidi says, we all get sensitive some days. So about that. But I want to talk about our imagination, because this isn't just for people who are already working with spirit. I'm talking about, is this me or is this my imagination, for everyday people, for, you know, not just for mediums or for psychics. We're all born psychic. We all have that ability. And this is what I want to, the avenue that I want to go down, because we are all born psychic. And when we call people psychics, it's because they've worked at their ability and their skills, and they're doing it perhaps as a daytime job. But let me assure you, you're all born psychic. Now, I don't know if Richard's got the one of my um, um, posters that I've got up about all the clairs, which we can look at as and when, if you're there, Richard, if you've got that, you can post that up. And then we can talk about all the different clairs and how that comes in. Heidi, you lost a friend this morning. Love for his wife would be appreciated. So sorry to hear that. Very, very sad. Been hearing a lot of that recently. So, Richard, do you have the clairs? Okay, no rush. Just wondered if you had it. Yes, so the question is it us or is it our imagination? Now, spirit are going to use all your psychic faculties in order to get their attention. So we're not talking just about mediumship readings. I'm putting that to the side for the moment. But I'm talking about in everyday life. For example, using all the senses, taste, smell, seeing, feeling, hearing, all those clairs that we have that relate to the everyday senses. They talk about the 5 senses. We've got so many more. I want to talk to you about the day, for example, that I was swimming in the swimming pool, and I just learned in my 40s to swim out of my depth because I had a phobia about going out of my depth. And I'm halfway across the pool and there's no lifeguard, and I smell my dad's aftershave. Is that me or is it spirit? Is it my imagination, an overactive imagination, or is it my dad who's come to reassure me? Because I could really smell his aftershave amongst that heavy smell of chlorine in the pool. It was so profound. It actually brought tears to my eyes. Was it me or was it my imagination? It was definitely my dad's presence, and I won't have anyone. There will people that maybe not see that, but you have to follow your own gut, your own intuition. And for me, that was my dad drawing close to me. Is it me or is it my imagination when I feel someone brush past me, or someone touch my hand, or maybe a ruffle in my hair? Does that happen to you? Is it you or is it your imagination? Did you see something move from the corner of your eye, from the peripheral of your eye? Was that you or was that your imagination? It's that fleeting moment that we see something move. So, you can walk in somewhere and sense a presence in the room. Is it me or is it my loved one? Because we've been asking for signs for so long. How many of us are asking? I was discussing this with a friend actually, who's not a medium, who's always saying, he's asking for his loved one to show themselves. And, we ask and we ask and we ask. So if they're going to try and give you proof, you're asking for signs all the time. Why don't we accept the signs? Why do we just automatically class it as our imagination? Or perhaps we may go and tell someone, our loved ones at home or our friends, relatives, we tell them what's happened and we're so full of excitement. Do you remember those moments when you're so full of excitement? You want to tell them about how you felt something close and then someone, I won't use that expression, but actually throws your fire, you know, and literally extinguishes that fire, that burning passion that you've suddenly got that, yay, I've got that proof that I wanted. And someone will just come along and just say, no, that didn't happen. That's your mind, it's your imagination. You must follow what you feel to be true to yourself. You are the only person that experienced it at that moment in time. It's like we might give a reading and it might be so profound, or we might receive a reading that's so profound. Many of you have received readings, and and then and sorry, what was that? Right. Um, and so, you'll hear something that's within a message, and it's a wonderful moment, and then someone will come along and say, well, don't believe it. Um, so just go by how you felt at that moment in time. Now, I was saying to Richard, our producer, before. Oh, sorry, I'm just seeing the comments. Um, that was definitely your dad, Bev. Thank you, Eileen. That was lovely. Didn't see what Terry said there, so maybe we can go back to that. Yes, it was my dad. I can sit here and imagine the smell of lavender, but I can't actually smell it. Well, that's wonderful. So maybe that there is someone who liked the smell of lavender. Now, my auntie used to use like a lavender stick because she used to suffer from migraines, and she used to put this lavender stick on her forehead, and that would bring her relief. I can't remember what it was called, but I know that if I smell that, it's my auntie. Pamela's saying, my mother always touches my hair. How beautiful is that? And you don't need anyone to disprove it for you. Hi, lovely Gary. How are you? Good afternoon to you. So, you've all had those wonderful experiences. So, Cheryl, you're saying, yes, I feel spirit, like a static feeling, but I don't know who they are, or even if I try to ask. So we can just ask, but you know what? Know that they always come in love. All these people that are fearful, know that the spirit world always draw close with love. There's too much that's sold out there on scary things and how they want to hurt you. Your guides and your loved ones in spirit will never allow anyone to hurt you. So just relax and enjoy. Sensing guides. I feel lucky to have all the clairs but one. Don't have the clairgustance, which I'm not bothered about clear tasting. So don't say that you don't have it. I would say to you that just ask for it. Because if we're putting out negative, then we're not going to get it. It's a bit like saying to spirit, don't give me names because I never get them. And so they're going to be up there saying, don't give that person any names because she doesn't get them. So ask for the taste. I'd love to get you into my class and get you to work on the test with that sense of positivity, because you would get it. I did a lovely workshop actually this time last year, where I actually had it in a hall, hired a hall, and I bought loads of different things for smelling and tasting, and it was wonderful. Terry, you're saying when I see something in the corner of my eye, I do question myself. Of course we do. You know, it's normal. We are all the same, but it's about knowing and trusting what we're receiving, and it's a gift. So why would we, um, you know, not look at a gift? You know, what's the word? Look at expression. Look at a gift horse in the mouth. Christine's saying, I was smelling cigar smoke, then I got a message from my late partner who smoked a cigar with his father at Christmas. Well, how wonderful is that? That's fabulous synchronicity. Pamela, you're saying, I saw Spirit yesterday standing in my living room door. I don't know who he is. Did you ask him? That's wonderful to be able to see. Now, how many people have asked to see, including myself? You know, I've asked to see. I sense spirit around me a lot, but especially at night. I was woken up this morning by someone looking over me. Hello, Annabelle. Heidi, me too. I hear footsteps upstairs, and every night when I go to bed, I hear rustling. So bad, I even convinced myself it was rats. The logical part of my brain kicks in. Again, did you ask Heidi? Did you say that I welcome all those who come in love and light? All those who have come to comfort me? Could you give me an idea who you are? And, you know, because if you are at all bothered by it, not everyone is welcoming. You can light a candle, you can ask them to stop if it's in an inappropriate time, which I'm going to go back to later. Cheryl saying, I've just started hearing, was very excited, no one else gets it. Hey, amazing, amazing. Way to go, girl. Enjoy it. Don't worry about the naysayers. They're not important. Christine's saying I often smell my auntie's perfume, like I was just saying about my auntie's lavender. It's wonderful to be able to do that. Christine, I was sitting in bed and was concerned about my son. I felt a tap on my shoulder when I was in bed, and the next day I got a reassuring message. That's amazing. You see, look at the power of spirit. That's just truly awesome. Hi, Lauren. Welcome. You're never late and you can always catch up. We're just talking about, is it me or is it my imagination? Hello, lovely Kelly. How are you? Great to see you on here. So yeah, this is sharing and caring, and you know, I'm talking about all different aspects of, is it me, is it my imagination? We're talking about everyday life now, and we're going to come to your questions about in the mediumship as well, because I didn't really plan this class. Typical me, I leave it to the spirit world and you guys to guide me where I need to go. And this is just evolving as it's supposed to evolve. Hi, Eileen. Trust is the key, which I need to learn and get better with. Exactly. It's a bit like me not exactly planning today's session, today's show, but knowing the title. And that kind of freaked me out that I'm going live and I don't really know what I'm going to say. So I wrote down a few words, which I know and I've got them in my head, and we'll see and trust where it goes. Hello, lovely Sally. How are you? Hello, hello. Don't ever doubt yourself. If you've received something, you have received it for a reason. And we need to be able to still our minds to enable that blending to take place. Because what we're seeing is perhaps a mirror of our own mind. And that's exactly what mediumship is, whether it's on the psychic level or within your mediumship. What you're experiencing is a mirror of your mind. And so you need to express it. So you think it's your imagination, express it, acknowledge it. And if you're in a mediumship reading, say it, trust it. Okay? So they're going to be using all our psychic faculties. And I don't know if Richard's found that that worksheet that I had. But these are all things that we are experiencing. I'm going to the seeing now, because anyone who's on my Facebook page, my Bev Mann page, I've got two pages. I've got my Bev Mann, which is more my personal page, and then I've got my Mediumship from the Heart page. Now, on my Bev Mann page, I have been posting some videos that I've been seeing of orbs. I just saw one literally as I'm talking here. I saw something move. I love it. I love the power of spirit. Thank you. But you know, you've seen that happen quite a lot when my lives, when I do them, and something they will just confirm what I've just said. But I get into bed, my dog's perfectly quiet. She's only 5-month-old puppy, but I see her looking, and then she'll start not barking like she's scared, but ruffing, the ruff, ruff, ruff. And I did say I wasn't going to film anymore in my bedroom because that's like inviting spirit into my personal space, which I have to have some privacy. But I knew that there was something going on, so I just put my video on my phone. You know, I don't have any special equipment, and the orbs that were coming out were truly fantastic. And I had one medium friend in America who actually screenshotted some of the orbs. And if you screenshot them, sometimes you can see a face in them. So that's what I want to express to you as well, is that animals will pick up as well. They will pick up on spirit presence. If you are not sure, why don't you get your camera out? You can see the orbs best in a dark light. So I filmed in the dark, but the flash came up on my phone, and it was incredible. How is your dog after seeing all those orbs? She's fantastic. And I'll tell you something else, what I did say to Spirit. I said to Spirit, could you kindly stop now because I need to sleep? Could you leave Angel, my dog's called Angel, of course, could you leave Angel alone? We need to sleep. And with that, she stopped barking, put her head down and went to sleep. So there's going to be people that you might play this back to on YouTube and they're going to poo-poo it and say that's rubbish. Well, you know what? Everyone's entitled to their own opinion about everything. Always follow your own inner compass. And it's the same thing with babies. I know I've said this numerous times. Babies, children up to the age of 7 will retain that link to the spirit world, and many, like us light workers, will keep it a lot longer. Or maybe we'll come back into touch with it in our 20s, 30s, 40s. Or one lady I know started reconnecting with spirit at the age of 70 and went on to become a medium. But you can ask the spirit world to move around if you're sensing your loved ones in the room that have gone to the spirit world. Ask them to move and see if your child or baby's eyes follow them. You can play these sort of, not games, but it's really confirmation for you, whether it was you or whether it was spirit. Why is your dog barking? Why is your baby goo-gooing? How many times it's like they're talking to someone? What are they seeing? What are they experiencing? So I know that they are around me all the time. I talk to them and I say, okay, if you're there, can you touch Angel's head? Can you come closer? And the orb will come in closer. So these are all things you can do. Also going back to the hearing, the clairaudience, or just general hearing. How many of you hear a voice? Because I know many people here have said to me that they hear a voice. And yesterday I was doing a reading and I said to my sitter, you have heard your mother call you. You've heard her. And I've said before, you've felt them come close to you. You felt them sit at the end of your bed. You felt them touch your hair. And this is sometimes the confirmation that people want because they think that they're going mad, like you, like me, like everyone else. And then a medium will come along and say, you've heard your mother call you. I had a reading yesterday and she told me that, yes, that's right. And that touched her more than anything, that what she had experienced had been confirmed within a reading. So if you are a medium and you feel this, say it, because that could be the biggest thing that you could say to someone. And, you know, it's that reassurance that someone got that, wow, it wasn't my imagination, because this medium is now confirming it to me that it wasn't my mind going mad. Pamela, you're saying you started learning mediumship last year and you're now 61. Good on you, girl. Good on you. That's fantastic. I'm loving your hair. It's looking great. So yeah, so that's why I wanted to talk to you about that. So taste, smell, hearing, touching, seeing, all those. I'd like to know your opinions and your thoughts. So do please interact with me because I can't see who's online. I can only see the comments as and when they come up. So I hope I don't miss any of them. But this is happening to everyday people because we are all born with so many senses. Cheryl, you're saying I hear someone say my name and someone shout mum. That's wonderful. Now, how do you react to that? Do you believe it? Alison, I have heard voices. The last one called me a really horrible name. Really? That's very, very strange. So you need to find out what's going on there. Cameron, sorry I'm late. Hello, Cameron. Lovely to see you on here. Thank you for joining us. We are talking about, is it me or is it my imagination within your everyday life, sensing spirit around you? And we're going to be coming on to talking about within our mediumship readings. Christine says, yes, I do hear a voice often. Pamela, I wish I could hear my parents as I can't remember what they sound like. You know, that's really a valid point, isn't it? How do they sound like? Um, I have kept my mum's message on my answer phone. In fact, I've got a few of them, um, and I've kept those. And I've got a video of my dad from my wedding day back in 1987. Um, so I do have that. So I am blessed with that. Some of us have got the video, um, and that's really special too. And also handwriting. My dad was quite fastidious and he used to write notes. So I've got somewhere his handwritten notes that he would remind me to do something. Um, and that's really nice remembrances. Gary, my hair looks nice. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's gone really light because I can't get it coloured. So the highlights are coming out now. I'm looking a bit like a golden girl. Purple and golden. It's a bit of a new look, which I'm just getting used to. Alison, I used to see faces and lights when I closed my eyes, but it all stopped. Well, you can ask it to come back. Maybe you have been scared. Now I'm picking up, hold on, Terry, because I need to come back to you. I'm picking up with you, Alison, that you've been scared. And especially you said that you experienced someone not calling you a nice name. So, you know, when we have that fear, we can kind of block it. I'm sure they weren't calling you a bad name. And so perhaps you need to revisit that or we can talk about that. But sometimes when we have a negative experience, we can kind of block ourselves, you know, because that fear, the FEAR, comes in. All right. So if you want it to come back, but remember, don't do as I do and allow it to come into your personal space, like in your bedroom. Because I often get woken up by spirits. You know what? I haven't worked, I was saying to Richard, the producer, I haven't done any readings for a couple of months because I was unwell, not with COVID, but I had a really bad chest before Christmas and coming up to Christmas. So I didn't do any readings by choice for a couple of months because unless I can give 100% to my work, I won't work because I'm an ambassador for the spirit world and I need to be a good one. So when I started working again the last couple of days, I've had all this influx of stuff. So I need to deal with that because there's time and place for everything. And there needs to be boundaries, which I always teach people from when they very start with mediumship. You must draw healthy boundaries. You don't go in and do party tricks if you're lucky enough to go to a party at the moment. It has to, when your work time is your work time, and when your play time is your play time, and when your sleep time is your sleep time. It's a bit like the old Mars advert, work, rest and play. So I need to address that. Again, we can do things if you want, which are ritual. Doesn't mean that they that they will help, but it will help you in a mental way. Then do it. You know, anyone who says, "Oh, you don't need to light sage, you don't need to light a candle," you do whatever fits right for you. If you want to wear crystals, wear crystals. You know, there's no right or wrong. Do what's right for you. I'm gonna sage my room later, because I need to sleep at night. Alison, you're saying, don't worry, there's nothing happening in my bedroom. Lol. That's too funny. That's too funny. I'll shake hands with you there, Alison. Anyway, how do we always get onto that subject? But yeah, it's about knowing our boundaries, and sometimes we need to set them before we go to bed. All right. Now, Terry, you had a question for me before. I don't know if Richard could just put that up again. But you know what I'm talking about now is about intent. Everything is about our intent. You know, I intend to sleep well. I intend not to have a disturbed night. I intend to get a message from the spirit world. I intend for the spirit world to draw close and touch me. And we can do that within our meditation. I did meditations with you many times on the shows. You can look them up on past shows that we've had on the Facebook page on Exploring Your Awareness. When we do meditations, and I ask your guides to step forward and let us know that they're around you, like a touch or a feeling. And that's all about setting your intent within your meditation. You're setting your intent to ask your guides to step close to you and let you know that they're around you. Terry, you're saying, I see faces and lights when I close my eyes just before I fall asleep. That's only recently. That's unusual to see it just before you go to sleep. Well, I say unusual because I've not experienced that, which is fantastic because we all experience things in different ways. Mine is usually on waking up, or I've been woken up, which is a bit more, just can be a bit more disturbing if you're not used to it. For me, it's like, bring it on, I'm used to it by now. But that's interesting. Do you recognize the faces? How does it make you feel? If anything isn't welcome, then let them know. Okay? Is it you or is it your imagination? How do you feel about that, Terry? Is it you or is it spirit? Because that's what this show is about. Exploring your awareness as to whether it's your imagination or whether it's you. And I think it's a really interesting question. And, you know, like I said before, so many times we have convinced ourselves, know it to be true, and then someone will come along and put the doubt in place. Heidi, you're saying, I used to be able to float above my body just before I nodded off, but not done that in about 6 months. Now I sound like a nutter. No, I mean, we don't know what really happens to us during our sleep. There's a lot of astral traveling, you know, or we can go off to the halls of learning to learn. We don't really know what happens to us. You know, we have heard stories about people having operations, and they're laying on the operating bed in a theatre, and they've been able to read what's been put on the top behind the light, right on the ceiling. How can that be? How can they see these things? How do we know what happens to us during an anesthetic? You know, you're not a nutter. And that feeling of floating, because we have, let me explain this to you, Heidi. We have, this is my understanding as well. Everything I teach you is what I understand. and this is what I've been taught through my understanding with the SNU, and that is that we, and Arthur Finlay, that we are born with two bodies. We've got the physical body and we've got the etheric body, which is the the electromagnetic field around us. And so the physical body is attached to the etheric body by a silver cord. When we pass to the spirit world, that cord is cut, and the physical body will wither and die, and we're buried or cremated or whatever, and the etheric body continues to exist. It goes up to the spirit world, and that is how we feel the spirit presence around us. Now, you're talking about floating above your body. So how about this, Heidi, that you have your physical body who's lying in the bed at night, but your etheric body is already rising, and it's already perhaps going towards the spirit world, to have those experiences, to have those travels, to have that knowledge shared with you, and then you come back to your physical body in the morning. There are some people that remember these trips. I don't know if anyone does, but many, many people do talk about it. Christine, you're saying, when I go to my mum's, dad, and auntie's grave, I always talk to them and I get replies. I never got anything from my mum until she came through on a reading. Interesting, very interesting. And it's about trusting what you receive, And sometimes when, like I said, when we share it with other people, they will put those doubts into your mind, but you know what you experienced. So, take comfort from it because it's your experience, not anyone else's. So the power of your imagination is very, very important. Gary's saying, I keep dreaming of a woman I have never met. People have said I must have seen her before, but I haven't. That's interesting. Well, she could be a spirit guide, Gary. She could be someone, I know this isn't a way of SNU training, but I am an open mind and I have an open book in front of me, and I believe in all possibilities. Maybe it's a past life, Gary. Maybe it's someone that will come into your life. But I have a feeling that it could be a guide. We just don't know. It's your experience, and no one can take that away from you, and we can all help you try to analyze it and work it out. And then you can take on board everything that everyone said to you, the different possibilities that I've given you today. And then you need to sit on it and meditate on it. Perhaps even ask before you sleep at night, and ask for those questions to be answered. Gary, she's very pretty, so it's all good. That's too funny. That's too funny. I have some funny stories about things like that, which I'm going to be sharing in my book. But yeah, I get that totally. Terry, I've seen 3 or 4 faces. I don't recognize one of them. They are too clear for me for it to be my imagination, I feel. They come in the distance and come closer. It's very strange, I admit. Well, you see, I was plagued with that, Terry, throughout my life growing up, that I would sense within orbs, I would see orbs. They were like globes of light. And this is all in my book, actually, about my story. And I would see these orbs and faces in it. And I was absolutely petrified as a kid. I was like 3, 4 years old. For as long as I can remember, I was experiencing this, and there were faces in these orbs of light, and it freaked me out, I was looking for explanations up until a few years ago, even at the college. And I asked one of the tutors, and I was told that it was a reflection of my higher self, and I chewed and mulled on that, and unfortunately, it didn't sit right for me. I really valued their opinion, Like you might value something that I say, but it might not sit right with you. It didn't sit right with me. I was a bit disappointed actually at first because I thought that wasn't the answer I wanted to hear. And you know why? Because deep within my soul, I suppose I knew the answer already, what it was. And so it didn't it didn't sit right with me. And that taught me a valuable lesson to trust and have faith in myself. So it's good that you see the faces and you're not freaked out about it, but that's one of the things that I'm quite conscious of with young children, and I often talk about it because there are a lot of children who are experiencing this, and you know, the parents, like my mum and dad, used to call it my night terrors. Bev's having her night terror, you know, or she's talking in her sleep. Because let's face it, it's going back to what we were talking about before. You know, experiencing things, and we don't always remember them when we wake up. How many times have you been told that you've been talking in your sleep? You know, my mum used to make a joke of it. Oh, I used to listen to hear about your love life, Bev. You know, and I was petrified in case I did say something I shouldn't have said. But anyway, my mum used to have such fun with it as a teenager. What is the name of your book, Bev? Well, it has the word spirit in it, and it has the word scandal in it. I haven't announced it yet, but it will be coming out very, very soon. I've sort of kept it under wraps at the moment, but spirit and scandal are two of the words, along with sparkles, that have been used in the title. So, Pamela, I'm going to let you know soon. Thank you. Thank you for asking. But yeah, it should be hopefully an interesting read to some of you, but it's just documenting all these things that have happened to me where I questioned whether it was my imagination or whether it was spirit. Because let's face it, at 3, 4 years old, you don't know what spirit is. Especially, you know, if you've been blessed to have grown up with a spiritualist or people that understood about that, then that's great. My dad believed in the spirit world wholeheartedly and would go to healing, but my mum was really scared of it. So yeah, and these are things that we need to help the kids. We need to help and support children. You know, I've seen quite a few children with their parents because I'll never see them alone. Because it's about educating the parents as well. Pamela, that is what I always say. My body is a vessel till it dies, but my soul will always live on. Absolutely. And that's my understanding. So it's like, and that's what, you know, like you can imagine it as these ghostly apparitions that people see. And I have got a picture over there, which is actually of someone passing to the spirit world. And you see like the etheric body, the body laying on the bed, and the etheric body moving up to the spirit. Terry, you're saying, when I was a child, I saw my granddad at my bedroom window. Mum and Dad came in to see if I was asleep and saw me sat on the windowsill. My dad freaked out, said the devil was wanting me to jump. Oh my God, what an experience! Wow. And you see how interesting it is. You still remember it to this day. I know it was my granddad, and even told my mum and dad what he was wearing, and it was the clothes he was buried in. I was only 8. Fantastic. And you see the age 8, like I said, 7 or 8, that's like really a pivotal time. So wow, that's such a wow story. And our first experiences with the spirit world will always stay with us the most. Your first reading, your first visit, your first smell, your first view, it will stay with you. And you know that that's not your imagination. Lauren, hi Lauren. My little boy is nearly 3 and I know he sees spirit, but I worry about him being scared like I was as a kid seeing spirit, bless him. Well, you know, he's a little bit too young to talk about now, but as he gets older and he starts realizing that he's a little bit different and he's seeing more than other people are seeing, that's when you can start nurturing him in and letting him know that it's okay. And you sound like you're very well connected in. I don't know if you're a medium yourself, Lauren. I feel that you are already a medium, so you would be best well to guide him. And if you feel that you're um, a little bit too close, perhaps talk to someone else as he gets older. But I feel that you would be best to, because he's gonna trust you the most, all right? And coming from you, he's gonna believe it. But wait, he's far too young. Alison, can't wait to read your book. Thank you very much. Nearly done, nearly finished, nearly finished. We're about 3/4 of the way through. So yeah, it's exciting times. Good, can't wait for you all to read it too. As close to the fly on the wall as I can get. Signed copies, absolutely, definitely, definitely. Terry is saying, I didn't go to his funeral or anything, so I wouldn't have known what he was wearing. I can remember it as clear as anything. Dad panicked, obviously. I think that's wonderful. Did your dad feel comforted by that? Obviously it freaked him, but after the initial shock had gone, how did he feel about it afterwards? Did he find comfort from it? That's what I would be interested to know. I've done readings before where I have picked up what the person was wearing at their funeral, the colour, perhaps the jewellery, what they thought about what they were wearing. And, you know, sometimes you can, and that in a way, that's how you can bring laughter and tears into your reading. It's not all about, and I'm always going on about this, but it's not all about, I've got someone and he passed with the chest condition and he's 5'10". You know, no, tell me what they were wearing. Tell me what they felt about it. Tell me the funny times. Tell me the sad times. That's what I want to teach. I want to teach mediumship from the heart. That's what I'm passionate about. I want all the evidence that you can't Google, you know, because height and what they pass from, people can, you know, the naysayers, the people that don't you know, don't believe in us will say that we just got that off Google. Hi Lauren, I am a medium. Thank you for your advice. Yeah, I can see that you're a medium and he's in the best hands. And isn't it wonderful that he's got your gift and that he's got a wonderful mummy to help guide him? I think that's phenomenal. Hello, lovely Amanda. Just having my boiler fixed, bruh. Nice to see you. Oh, sorry you're cold. I'd like to say you can come round to me, but we're not allowed. Alison, I have never forgotten when I saw what I now imagine was an angel. It appeared in front of the patio doors in my living room, a bright white person. I was quite young at the time. That's amazing. That's wonderful. And I've had that experience as well. I'm not going to tell you too much because you'll have to read it in my book. If I tell you all my stories, the show's not about me and my stories anyway, but I'd like you to read it. And Alison, I had a profound experience like that as well. And you know it, you know it. And I've also taken a picture actually before my workshop. I did a video and I took a picture of my workshop in my house. I converted my room and there was a light and someone who's not spiritual messaged me and he said, oh my God, Bev, there's an angel at your door looking into the workshop through the patio door. And it was incredible. Terry, I think Dad was more concerned about me opening the window to try and get to my granddad. He couldn't explain how I knew what granddad was wearing. So yeah, what I mean is after like the initial shock of it all, how does he view it? How does he view it now? What was his thoughts? You know, or did he just shove it under the carpet, never to be seen again? Interesting. I think my mum was also worried about where I was going to go walking, talking, you know, and yeah, education is really, really important. Whatever age, young, old. So power of imagination, is it me or is it spirit? It's not separate, it's all one. It's one and the same, because the only way the spirit world can communicate with you is to touch your mind. So we have to get our ego mind out the way when we're doing a reading. Not easy. We have to move our minds to the side and allow the spirit world to come close. And they're using your mind as a library. Remember, I said this very much in the beginning of my shows when we talked about exploring your awareness. Your mind is a library. Everything that you've seen, experienced, felt, every book you've read, every person you've met, everything is there in this library. And the spirit world will come along and take things from that library and utilize there in order to help you get the message across. Hello, lovely Lisa Paris. How are you? I've missed you too, all the way in New York. Great to see you. Thank you for joining us. Again, please share this YouTube link because hopefully it's going to help other people. Love to have a cuppa, absolutely. I miss those times. So they're using your mind as a library, right? So it is your imagination, because how else can they express to you what they want to express to their loved one in a reading? So that's why I say also, even in my readings, there is a bit of a game of spiritual charades, because they are taking bits that you know. So they might give you your grandma in a reading. It's like, why are they giving me a grandma? And why that particular grandma? Like they might give you a grandma and it will be a grandma on your mum's side. And that's exactly who you're talking to, your sitter's grandmother on their mother's side. I remember once I gave a reading and I got a taxi driver. Hi Alison, how are you? I'm great, thank you. All the way in Boston, lovely to see you here. I had an uncle, and I'll tell you what it was now. He suffered with dementia, and before he did so, he was a cabbie, he was a taxi driver. And I was giving a reading to someone, and I said, I've got a gentleman here and he's got dementia. And then all of a sudden I saw my uncle, and I said, oh, would you understand a taxi driver? And they said, yes, he was a taxi driver. And then I gave the name, and she said, oh my God, that was his name. So you see, I call that spiritual shorthand. They're using your imagination, everything you know, every person you've met. Maybe with that grandma, it wasn't a grandma. Maybe it was just the name. Maybe it was just the name Sarah, that they want you to say the name Sarah. So why am I seeing like my grandma? My grandma's name was Sarah. So for all of you that are going to give me a reading at some point, you know I had a grandma Sarah, but maybe the name Sarah has a relevance to the sitter in front of you. So never never let any bit of information go. Now, the other day I was giving a reading to protect that person's to respect to them and their anonymity. I was giving a reading to someone yesterday, and I brought forward her father, and then I asked her if she understood this TV character. I said, I've got this TV character, and they said that her face went white, and she said that her father passed watching that TV show. You know, I didn't need to give what he passed from, how tall he was and what kind of clothes he was wearing, and that he was a nice man. That was great evidence for her that her dad was around and brought a tear to her eye. My job was done, you know, obviously bringing forward more love, more memories. But that's the kind of thing you want to know. And that's the kind of thing that you need to trust. Trust in what you receive. Don't let any shred of evidence go unturned. So it's really, really important not to, look over anything that you get. Amanda, you're saying last night I did platform. I experienced a second message with the same person. I was sharing the platform. For a second message for the same person. I was sharing the platform. So when I got up again after them, I had another message that the same person took happened twice. Now that's really interesting. You mentioned that, Amanda, because in my learnings at the college, I was told that we mustn't give a message to the same person twice, because it implies that the other medium is not doing a good enough job. And if it was from yourself, maybe that first communicator didn't do a very good job of giving that message over, which I do not agree with, because a father in the spirit world will bring forward a different message than a friend would bring forward for in the spirit world. But that's just interesting that you should bring that up, and that's another topic. I just thought I'd mention that. I'm open to all schools of thoughts, and I'm just telling you one of the schools of thoughts within my learning. Amanda is saying that happened with my dad's friends named Duffy. That was my rabbit's name as a child. Spirit showed me my rabbit. Absolutely. So that can happen. They will use all different things. I've seen like the Bisto ad with the Bisto kid, that has something to do with the smell of the smell, but it was actually the smell going down the road because the lady never cooked and she used to get someone else to cook it down the road. There's lots of what I call spiritual shorthand. They will use shorthand, and you need to trust the power of your imagination, because it is a game of charades. Is it a book? Is it a film? And I was never very good at charades. I always joke about that. So it's open to interpretation. And one of the things I teach as well is mind mapping within my classes. And by mind mapping, what I mean is you could take a word, for example, like angel eyes, and then you split the word, and then what does the word angel mean to you? Because obviously what angel means to you will mean something different to the next person. And what do eyes mean to you? So, for example, the word eyes, someone might say glasses, someone might say blue, some might say brown, and then that leads to another word. So this is how we get like spiritual charades, or charades as it is. We can take a word and we can expand on that word. And that's what the spirit world will often do to you within a reading. They'll give you a word, but that word will have a different meaning to you than to the next person. So they're using your mind as that library. You are the library, and you are the storyteller. So you have to tell the story of that person's spirit world. You have to tell the story of their life. And one of the famous pioneers of mediumship was Eileen Garrett. I don't know if anyone knows of Eileen Garrett, but you can look her up. I have got her book. I lent it out to someone before I read it, and I don't know who I lent it to. But anyway, she has said, actually, her quote is about inner calm, free from distraction, and said it. Think of all those deja vu moments. You know, the things we learned right at the beginning when I was teaching Exploring Your Awareness here. Think of all those things, those thoughts and feelings, as we started off this afternoon, about how you're a natural born empath. You're picking up other people's thoughts and feelings. Maybe we should trust them. You know, how many times you thought that person doesn't like me? And we're told that we're paranoid. Are we paranoid? Or do we really know that that person doesn't like us? I know who likes me. I don't always say, but not everybody likes everyone. There's plenty of people out there with daggers in everyday world, in spiritual community, everywhere. but it's knowing. And sometimes it's good to just keep silent because you know. So using your intuition, and people will tell you you've been over, you've been over imaginative, your imagination's running away with you. Just follow your own inner compass, and follow your own truth. Thank you, Eileen. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Please share the link. Has anyone got any questions that you'd like to ask me? I've been talking away for quite a long time. Gary, I need to take my dogs over to the park. Thank you, Bev. Great show. So, yeah, thank you for that. Anyone got any questions that you want to ask me? Anything you need to ask about this? You just remember that you just need to celebrate your imagination. It's not your enemy, it's your greatest friend. Your imagination is your greatest friend. So stop worrying that it's ruining your readings. Just celebrate what you get. Thank you for joining us, Terry, as well. It was great to watch you live. See you later this evening. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for all the work that you do. So tonight we've got the lovely Ashley Robinson. So if you've got any questions, just put them up here. But meanwhile, I'll just let you know what's going on tonight. We have you got that up there, Richard? We've got Ashley Robinson in Being Spiritual, I believe it's called, and that's at 8 o'clock on Spirit TV. Oh, I can't see it right, thank you. And so tune in later. And tomorrow, what have we got tomorrow? And what time's that? 8. That's going to be at 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. Do join the lovely Veronica Jenkins. I know she's a lovely sharing lady. She's always putting up when people are doing their lives. So it'd be great to support Veronica for this too. I'm hoping that you have gained something and learned something from this, to trust your imagination, not see it as the enemy, to give what you get. If you get it wrong, then maybe it is like a game of charades that you're just misunderstanding. She's saying that wheel is on your face. What wheel's that? I don't know what that wheel is. So yeah, so just trust, say it. If you get a no, learn to accept the no's. It just means that you have understood it in a different way, and you need to go back and maybe say it in a different way, just like you would in the game. Pamela, I know when someone doesn't like me, I can feel it. Absolutely. But it's about giving it back, isn't it? And it's about having tolerance for them, even though perhaps they might not have tolerance for you. So it's a really difficult path to walk, the spiritual path. It really is. I remember one of my tutors saying to me, you've got to have the skin of a rhinoceros and the sensitivity of a butterfly. If you think about that, the skin of a rhinoceros and the sensitivity of a butterfly, it's not an easy combination. And that's why it's important that us empaths do support and encourage each other, and stick together. And I'd like to see a lot more of that being done generally. So, so please do ask for your signs. Ask if they can come close. If you want to see a feather on the floor, if you want to see a penny turn up, if you want to see your loved ones, then set your intent. Your mother said that you always had a great imagination. Absolutely, that will make you a fantastic medium. just allow it to flow, just to flow. It's about trusting and asking. If we ask, then we'll get. But you need to be positive. And if you truly want to receive, then ask. But if you don't want to, then don't ask. So, thank you all so much for joining the show today. I don't know what's to ask me. We're coming to an end of this show. So, we've covered quite a lot. But if you've got anything else you want to ask, please do so now. Um, but we've covered our imagination in our everyday world. We've covered it in our spiritual development and within our readings. It's for you to start embracing it and using it and harnessing it to be the best that you can be in every avenue of your life. So I hope that this helps you. If you need any more information on me, you can find me on my page, which is I don't know if it's up there. It's is it up there, Richard? You've got my Bev Mann at, what is it? I don't know what it is, and it's Bev Mann at Medium. I don't know what it is page. It's Bev Mann Mediumship from the Heart, but it comes up different when you Bev Mann Medium page. Sorry, it's been a while since I said that. And it's also Bev Mann Mediumship from the Heart. You can also visit my website, which is bevman.co.uk, on workshops and teachings that I have coming up, because I'm also a tutor at the Fox Pioneer Centre. You can also friend me if you would like on my Bev Mann page as well. That's also open with my thoughts and inspirations as well. Christine's, always love your shows, Bev. Glad you feel better. Thank you. And thank you so much for you joining me. If you want to give feedback, please, and please share the link, because then more people for this YouTube show, more people can get experience and learn from it as well. Because as the lovely Bill Hughes says, caring is sharing. Lisa, happy I caught you for a few minutes. Your voice always soothes me. Thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you. Thank you. It's lovely to see you on here with you. But please do support this show, Exploring Your Awareness, and also all the other wonderful shows here on Spiritual Psychics TV. Richard does a fantastic job producing all these great shows, and they're all free. And anyone who wants to support the channel, you can do so through the Patreon page as well. That keeps the equipment and everything else up and running for all the time and effort that Richard puts into producing the shows. So I think that's it now for now. I don't see any other comments coming up. So if anyone wants to contact me, please do so through my page. And it's a pleasure being on here. It's a pleasure working with you, Richard. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Keep positive, guys. I know we're all going through some difficult times. Just try